Sweet.
Nice. Maybe.
It's working now, and you guys are live.
Oh, hello.
Hello. We're live. Thanks, Jamar. Can everyone hear us now? Did anyone enjoy lip reading? Because we had a meeting, lunch meeting about a very secret new unannounced game. And I was just telling Janessa all about it.
Yep.
Yes.
So now
So for those of you who can read lips,
you got a special treat.
yes. None of that happened. Well, happy Friday, everyone. Sorry for the tech difficulties. It's always a good sign when there's a problem and then Jamar goes, I have no idea what's happening. I've never seen this before. Like, oh, goody. But apparently our audio source just completely fucked off. And, but apparently it's working now.
It's back now,
All's
I
well
guess.
that ends well. I think Shakespeare would say that. He's a, little plant version of Shakespeare.
Shakespeare? That's adorable.
Yeah, Shakespeare got to get paid. Blame pods. But yeah, so happy Friday here with Janessa. Janessa, do you want to introduce yourself again?
Hi, my name is Janessa, and I also stream on Twitch as Pods of War, and we're here to talk about all the things.
Yes. We're going to talk about E3. We're going to talk about where I've been for a little while, because that's weird. And we're going to talk a little bit about games, because one of the things that was cool about E3 this year is that, I don't know, I've been going to E3 for like 12 or 13 years now, and this was probably the second most exciting E3.
So many games.
Yeah. I mean, so much stuff got announced that it's kind of mind-blowing. We actually just have like the giant list of stuff here too. But so we're going to talk a little bit about how you pick games, when it's a good time to be streaming games, when to jump in, and some of the mistakes that kind of smaller mid-level streamers make in selecting games that can really hold you back in the early part of your career. Because as we know, probably the hardest thing on Twitch is growing. And picking the right games, being in the right spots, even for big streamers like Ko and Ninja and people like that are huge, a lot of that growth comes from picking the right games at the right times and being there when the audience wants to see it. If you go back and look at Ninja a couple years ago, he had like 3,000 or 4,000 concurrent. It's crazy to think of that now that he's routinely hitting 100,000.
Yeah.
But that happened very, very quickly because Fortnite was really, really good for him. Ko had massive growth on Fallout, a few other games. And we always see that streamers have that ability when they find the right game, when they're on it at the right time, and it really clicks with their audience, to grow kind of massively. But a lot of that is strategic. So where have I been?
Where have you been?
That's a great question.
Where in the world is
You don't even know my name.
Omeed Dariani?
There we go.
There.
Yeah. and we are in San Diego, so it does make sense. It's a thematic song.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
You remember that TV show on like PBS?
Definitely. I think there was a video game too.
Yes.
Yeah.
The video game was very good. So I did like Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego the best?
That's
Yeah,
kind of mind blowing.
you had a time machine?
I didn't play that.
Yeah, this is back in the old days where like part of the game was like a freaking encyclopedia that they would give you, and it's like, I have to look up what is Latvia. Like, oh, okay, well let's go back and see the ancient city of capital of Latvia. I don't know. Anyway, it's Vilnius, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Hey, Acer Flynn,
little
it's
nugget
Zidane,
of knowledge.
Xantax, Jeremiah, Fearless. Nice to see all you folks. Really happy to have you here.
Thank
But
you
yeah.
for the bits and attacks.
Oh yeah, thank you for the bits. Awesome.
Bitties.
Yeah, we will take them and we will use them for our next giveaway, whenever that is. Hopefully not too long. But yeah, so this E3 was insane. We kind of knew it was going to be insane based on the conversations we were having with game companies beforehand. There's always, when it's going to be a good E3, there's always this like lull for about a month beforehand where nobody wants to talk about anything. Like everybody's like super busy and quiet.
It's secret.
And it was like that this time. So we knew it was going to be real, real good.
And then it exploded and got really busy.
Yes. And now things are kind of crazy. Yeah, and thank you whoever said something about my shirt, EverQuest. I love it. I used to work on it. Still love it. Don't really play anymore, fortunately. Because that shit is hard. Though our waitress at lunch today was an EverQuest player. It was
Really?
adorable. Yeah.
I tried to download it, but I didn't have like a gaming computer, and so it just like wouldn't. I think I was like 12 or 13, being like, why doesn't this work?
I remember when Ultima Online came out, I was so excited about it that I bought the Prima strategy guide before the game came out. I was like reading about it. And then when I went to the store to buy it, I looked at the system requirements, and it required more hard drive space than my hard drive had.
Whoa.
And I was like, how do you even fix this? Because I didn't know anything about computers then. It was like, but who can play this game? Yeah. Oh yeah, Ultima Online was awesome. I watched it from afar. Sadly, I never got to play it. But we need a Carmen Sandiego reboot. Yes, we do.
Let's do it. We'll do it here.
Yeah.
I'll volunteer to be Carmen.
Yes, and I will be just in case. It's one of my favorite things is just all the terrible puns in the names in Carmen Sandiego.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. And every once in a while, you'll meet a person in real life who has a Carmen Sandiego kind of name. I'm trying to remember. We've had one at almost every company I've worked at. And they just crack me up every time you get the email from them. But they're all crappy things like just in case.
Do you think like their parents trolled them when they named them?
Yeah, their parents are obviously awful people. So knowing that this year's E3 was going to be insane, and right after E3 is usually when the game industry kind of picks up. Oh God.
Oh, okay.
We dead. Our screen just
We're
went off. It's really when the game industry picks up. In a lot of ways, it's the beginning of the year for the game industry, and so I took a vacation. I went to friggin' Hawaii for a week, and I got sick, so that was awesome.
You got sick on vacation?
I did. It was
Ooh.
10 out of 10. Highly recommend it. Go to Hawaii, get sick, can't really do anything, just sort of sit on your porch, cry, and drink rum. So it could have been worse, for sure. But yeah.
Did you take like tequila and go to bed? That's like what like the Mexican remedy is for sickness.
That's racist. Yes, but yes, it was rum because it's Hawaii.
Yeah.
But yes, I do. Basically, whatever the alcohol of the region is, that's what I use to combat sickness. So here in San
Makes
Diego,
sense.
it is definitely tequila.
Yeah. Or craft beer.
Yes, but I like tequilas faster. Yeah.
It's not racist, it's fact.
By the way, there is a Carmen Sandiego reboot coming to Netflix next year.
What?
Wait,
There is
really?
a Carmen Sandiego reboot coming to Netflix. I am excited.
Netflix
to
knows
see-
what the people want.
Yes, they actually do. I've read a bunch of stuff about how their algorithms work. They know so much about you. If you notice on Netflix, the pictures change sometimes, right? Like you'll see Parks and Recreation, sometimes like Amy Poehler, sometimes it's Nick, what's his name? Nick Offerman that plays Ron Swanson.
Oh.
Sometimes it's like, two characters together. What they're doing is they're actually testing out which of these things you respond to. It's like, oh, do you like Amy Poehler, right? So then if they realize that you click on Parks and Recreation Amy Poehler, when you go to watch Mean Girls or something like that, they'll show you Amy Poehler rather than Tina Fey because they know you like Amy Poehler.
And that makes sense because then they have those categories like movies that Amy Poehler is in.
Yes.
And it's like so specific.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and they do. I mean, they have like 20 or 30 thumbnails for every show, and they're just serving them to you, trying to figure out which ones are going to make you click.
That's genius.
So if you notice that, like all your thumbnails are real creepy, because you're creepy.
You're a creep.
Yeah. It's like, oh, all my thumbnails are creepy little kids, with their mouths open. It's like, oh, what's wrong with me? I better go see a priest. Nope, that's not going to work. E3.
Perfect segue.
Yes, perfect segue. 10 out of 10. Yeah, exactly, Zach. Whatever you like on that, yeah. Aubrey Plaza and Anna Kendrick. Yeah, you find out a lot of things you don't want to know about your friends.
It's also good, like, okay, if you have different profiles for different people, like, you can go and I can see what my boyfriend's into based on what he watches.
Yes, you can.
They keep a history of that.
Yeah, watch out for that. You can also make one that's like for somebody else.
Yeah.
Just as like, oh yeah, that's
And
my
just
roommate.
watch that one.
And that's where you watch all the weird shit.
And blame it on them.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what my roommate is into.
No.
But so E3, and now that we've taught you plenty about And this is actually
The
this is
more
actually
you know.
yeah, it's a marketing concept. We talk about marketing a fair amount. It's called multivariate testing or A/B testing. So, when somebody's trying to figure out how a website works, like we talk about the funnel a lot, the acquisition funnel. How do you get somebody to go from being on Twitch to watching your channel, to go from watching your channel to following your channel, following to subscribing, subscribing to tipping you? How do you get somebody to become a super loyal viewer? Well, you can look at it as this funnel where at the top is everybody that could possibly exist, like all human beings in the world are at the top of the funnel. Now, a whole bunch of people don't watch Twitch, so they don't go in to the next level, right? So then all the people that watch Twitch are the next level. And then all the people that watch the game that you're playing are the next level. All the people that click on your stream are the next level, the next level, the next level. Each time a certain percentage of people are falling out. Now, if you're in marketing, your goal is to get all the people to spend all their money. So you're trying to minimize the number of people that fall out of the funnel at every step. So A/B testing, multivariate testing, is a way to say, okay, well, and like it goes all the way down. Those like banners that say like, play now, click here, play free. Like they test these. They test different slogans, different colors. People will rage and fight. Should the button be orange? Should the button be green? Which one do people click on more? So then they'll A/B test it. They'll make both of them. They'll serve both of them half the time and see which one gets better percentages. And then they'll start using that more. And the more you do that, the more you know about your audience, the better you get at selling your stuff. Easy. It's just that easy.
Doesn't sound easy.
Yeah. So yeah, E3. Since we knew E3 was going to be big this year, I took that vacation. So we had some great folks, Janessa, other people on the team. Audrey and Jamar did it last week. Is that true? I think Oliver was on there. Fucking everybody has been on office hours. It's great. So thank you guys so much. But we're back from vacation, and now out of the frying pan and into the fire. Yeah, the star is here. Here to disappoint you with my constant rambling. But yeah, so it's freaking crazy around the office. The amount of inquiries and things that are coming in, I would say is like 50 times what it was.
Yeah. I thought it was going to drop off after E3.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
No. Now the game industry is moving into full launch mode, right? We have the Steam sale just started. GOG's sale has just wrapped up, and all the new games are starting to get announced. Like, we're going to start seeing, sneak previews of things. We're going to start seeing all the new games that are coming out in the holidays, like influencers playing those and that kind of stuff. So it's going to be pretty great. Hey, Dan, how you doing, man?
Dan, thanks for the host.
Yes, thank you for the host, Dan. What does this say? I'll share a Coke with a football fan. I'm also watching the World Cup a lot, if you like the World Cup. We have a little office pool. I think I'm winning, or I might be in second place
I didn't
now.
know about an office pool.
Well.
It's okay, I don't watch football.
Well, that would impede your ability. But you are going to be on our basketball team, right?
I am, but I also don't know basketball.
Yeah. Well, that's why she's going to be the point guard after we explain to her what
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
You're basically in charge of everything.
Yeah, you're like the quarterback. Do you know what a quarterback is?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, it's like being the quarterback of basketball.
Oh, so it's like a joke, because I could not be a good point guard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the hard position to play if you don't know anything about basketball.
I was telling them that we have to watch out for me because I feel like basketball is really intense, and I'm just gonna get really angry when someone's in my face. Mm-hmm. So I gotta chill.
That's what your elbows are for. Just teach people a lesson. You get 5 fouls.
Oh,
yeah.
Now you know.
Yep. Just throw a couple elbows. It's fine. So yeah, E3 was freaking amazing. The quantity of games that were announced, I don't know, it's just mind-blowing.
So many games.
I'm just going to pull up the list of stuff. Jesus Christ, this is way too much stuff.
What drives me crazy is the fact that I feel like there's a game for anyone. It's not just one genre going on. So I'm really excited about that.
Was this your first E3, or had you been before?
I went last year, but I snuck in.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't say that right there. But last year was basically, I was just in the line for Destiny 2 for 4 hours. That's all I did.
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah.
Well, so what did you think of the show this year?
I didn't get to go in because I joined the industry
right
at the
late.
cutoff. But I went outside I got to meet some of our clients, which was really fun. And there's still plenty of things to do outside. I think Devolver was outside and the PS4 tent.
Yeah, all that esports stuff that GameSpot was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, EA's whole thing was outside. I mostly kind of shut that down throughout the show. Yeah, because E3 is kind of weird. It, like, for a long time was just for industry. Like, and they were like hardcore about it. You know, I used to work at Upper Deck, which is a, you know, trading card, board game, you know, even a little bit video game company, and we had a hard time getting into E3, you know, last decade. They were just like, well, are you really in the game industry? It's like, yes, we make games. Like, I don't know.
Does that count?
Yeah, you don't have a booth here. We don't really like you. But more and more, as I think the consumer shows like PAX have become more relevant, less companies are excited about going to E3 and spending a bunch of money. Also because influencers exist now. You know, back in the day when E3 started, it was all about getting all the journalists in one place so you could show them all the games, so they, you know, cover it in their magazines like 2 or 3 months later when magazines would come out. You know, so like E3 would happen in June, like July and August, you'd see the coverage, and then, hey, that's setting up right for the summer and on into the winter and Christmas and stuff like that. But now, everything's instant. So more and more companies, this year, I think was the most streamers were there that have ever been there. I think Twitch was saying there were something like over 700 partners came.
Yeah. And the majority of them were working. It wasn't just like them roaming around the conference. Like they had shit to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, every year, I think probably about 4 years ago was the first time any of our clients got paid to go to E3. And then every year it's been more and more. And this year it was about 10 or so people that got paid from just the clients that we manage. And then, yeah, there were just tons and tons of streamers. Just looking over the list of games that are coming out, got FIFA 19. That was a surprise. Definitely wasn't expecting that one. I think the coolest game that I personally saw was Cyberpunk.
You got to see more of it than anybody else.
Yes, anybody in the whole world. No, I did get to go to the press briefing for Cyberpunk. I was actually able to stay for almost half of it, which was awesome. And I gotta tell you, like, that kind of game is not the kind of game that I play all the time usually. But after watching it for 10 or 15 minutes, I was like, I'm not going to finish this game. Not good enough to do that. Not disciplined enough to spend the 40 hours or whatever it's going to take. But I'm definitely going to get it and wander around and cause trouble inside of this like awesome world. It was incredibly good looking. They showed us like the very first scene was like you waking up in your apartment, and it was just like, you remember the beginning of like The Fifth Element when what's his name, Bruce Willis, like wakes up in his apartment, it's like playing obnoxious music, and all these horrible future things are happening. It was just like that, man. I'm really excited. Excited for that one. Of course, Battlefield V was everywhere in the universe, and I think that's going to be one of the bigger launches this year. What else came out? What was interesting?
I have to say the thing that I'm most hyped for is Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't think that's getting like a lot of love because it's been like sort of announced throughout the past years, but we've been waiting 13 years for Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's just like really close. Oh, I touched this. It's really close to my heart. Just for closure. Yeah, Gunny. I'm like all about it. Like I have my Keyblade on my wall. I need to know where Kairi is. Like why are there 2 Rikus? Like, I'm into it and I geek out about it. Yeah. But we got some trailers. Mm-hmm. I think any like gameplay was still like nobody got to try it. Or I didn't because I was outside.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, going to E3 and going to all these conventions, I barely ever actually get to go to the show floor. I spend the entire time in a hotel nearby, just having meetings and hanging out with people, catching up.
Poor Aqua.
That sort of thing. It's fun. Assassin's Creed Sparta Edition looks cool. Yeah.
That one looks cool. I'm so stoked that you get to play as like a male or female. Mm-hmm. Because that's something that I definitely look at when I'm playing a game, just because I can relate to the character a little bit more. I get like, I wouldn't say I'm bummed out when I have to play as a male, but I just don't feel the same sort of like personal connection to the storyline.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's that's actually a big thing. You need to sort of be able to identify with the characters and put yourself into the role. Like, I always make my character just look like me because it's real easy.
Yeah.
You know, so you put a goatee and glasses on. Like, I make the best
You're like,
me's.
that's me.
Yeah. It's like I can make my me in like 2 seconds. My rock band guy, like, you know, I always look exactly like me because it's like very easy. But yeah, it's great because then you're like getting horribly killed in this game. It's like, oh man, that guy just killed Omeed. That's a bummer.
I'm dead.
But yeah, I mean, Fallout 76, I think, also made a huge impression.
It did.
You know, obviously the teaser for Elder Scrolls 6 was pretty exciting. Mega Man 11, just tons of stuff. Like, I mean, almost any game might be easier to just say what wasn't there than what was.
What didn't show up?
Yeah, what didn't show up. Another question that I'm not going to be real good at answering, but. But
Doom
yeah,
Eternal does look good. I want to go back and play Doom because I haven't, and it's like on the Steam sale right now.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do some Steam sale shopping this weekend. See if there's anything fun.
I see all the games that we'll buy but not play.
Yes, that is a problem. I just started playing Surviving Mars again, which I don't know. I really like.
I don't even know what that is. Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yes.
Also, Resident Evil remake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Half-Life 3 was there. That was huge. It was just a great announcement. I can't believe the esports angle with that, the $100 million tournament that they're going to do. I mean, for a game that, you know, just got announced, that's pretty ballsy. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption wasn't shown publicly. You know, a lot of stuff isn't.
Death Stranding. We still don't know what Death Stranding is.
Yeah.
But because it's Norman Reedus, like everyone's hyped about it.
Well, so, I mean, not to get too spoilery, because, you know, I've worked with Konami for a long time, so a special window into Kojima's mind. There is an old movie called Holy Mountain that you should watch tonight. You should watch it. It will give you a lot of insight into what's going on in Death Stranding.
Wow.
It's really cool.
Holy Mountain.
Holy Mountain. It's by Alexander Jodorowsky. Yeah. We'll do it. We should do it as OPG
We should.
movie night
Yeah.
sometime too, because
I haven't seen a lot of movies.
it's a classic. It's
Is it in Spanish?
no, it's not. It's in many languages.
Is that what's coming up on Google?
Yeah, his other movie El Topo, I think, is in Spanish, but Holy Mountain, I'm pretty sure is in English. Not that it matters. I mean, it really just doesn't matter. But if you watch it and then you play Death Stranding, you're not going to be surprised. Like, you're just going to be like, yep, that was pretty much exactly the same thing. We got a lot of movies we need to watch here for movie
What
night.
was that one you were talking about? The Room.
The Room, yes.
We're gonna all no.
It's a quality film.
We're gonna all watch that together.
Yes. I finally saw The Disaster Artist, the movie that...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the making of The Room movie. That was really satisfying. Oh, look, people have strong opinions about watching The Room.
Don't do it!
Yeah.
Audrey.
We're going to watch it together, Audrey. We're
We
going to
are,
watch
Audrey.
some of the scenes in slow motion and some of the scenes twice, and you know which ones.
We're doing a drinking game while watching it.
Yes, the drinking game is you take a drink every time you're creeped out. Yeah.
Constantly drinking.
Yeah. It's my favorite drinking game. You can only play it with a few movies successfully, but holy crap, those work out really well. So what else do we have to talk about? We had a good question come in, and guys, if you want to ask us questions, more or less weird than Eraserhead. Oh man, Eraserhead is like the fucking Peanuts Christmas special compared to Holy Mountain. Like, it's but if you're talking about The Room, Eraserhead's probably weirder than The Room, but Eraserhead is actually like kind of good, whereas The Room is just awful.
I want to see awful movies though.
Yes.
I want to see Sharknado.
Yes.
Sharknado's fun.
Sharknado is fine. It is a quality film. You know, we should just do this. Like, once a week, someone can bring in a movie they want to watch.
Terrible movie day.
Inflict it on the team.
Lava Lantula.
Yeah. Also, I just noticed, because we had lunch at Stone Brewery, that they've started their summer movies up, and Jamar, the Princess Bride, is on there. So we're
Let's
going to
go.
have to talk about that.
I still haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that either?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man. Well, we should go. We should make an appointment for that.
I think I'm gonna be sick on that day.
Wait,
Cool.
why? You're not into it?
Jamar doesn't
not.
like movies that feature Andre the Giant.
Are you scared?
Of
You're
Andre the
scared of
Giant?
Andre the
Yes.
Giant?
You know he's dead. He can't hurt you anymore. His
Yeah.
ghost can.
Anymore.
He's
His
literally
ghost
dead.
Can, though.
Wait, is that real? Lavalantula?
Yeah, it's a real movie.
Oh.
It's a
Tarantulas
made of
aren't
lava.
scary though.
What about a giant tarantula made of lava?
Tarantulas are adorable. I've held one in my hand, like a baby one. They start out like tiny, and this tarantula was pink, with like little black feet, and then when it grows up, it's black with little pink feet.
He sounds awesome.
Yeah,
What
it
was his name?
adorable. I don't know.
Oh, you should have named
Someone brought him to class. We're like, oh, there's a tarantula in class.
him. Well, I don't know where to go from there. But you know, it is Friday. It's Bring Your Pet to Work Day here at OP Group.
That
so
was really
feel
good.
free to bring your tarantula. All right, what else do we have on here? Yeah, we had a great question, guys. If you want to ask any questions, you can ask OPG.
This way.
It's right there. You can't even see my hand. Look, I'm pointing. It's right there. Yeah, look at that. Ask OPG on Twitter or just right here in the chat. Any questions? Well, I guess probably about anything because it's a pretty loose show so far. But I blame Janessa.
Sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's definitely Janessa's fault.
Yep, all my fault. # blame pods.
Yes, but we did get a good question on Twitter earlier. Can it be pop up, or I can try to find it?
The pop-up broke last week,
Oh man,
so we don't know if it's working again.
We'll work on it.
we're working on it. Okay, so hang on, I can find it. Where did it go?
I think it might be that service because I haven't been seeing it anywhere.
All right. Well, so I have the question.
Okay.
It was from Twisted396. Says, if a game a streamer is playing has licensed music, could a streamer still be hit with a DMCA? Now, this question is relevant because some people are getting hit with DMCAs
Yep.
fairly recently, which should not come as a surprise. It's something that DMCA has been around for a very long time.
1998.
Yeah, literally is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So
Wow.
it was passed at a time when we were saying the word millennium
Millennium.
to talk about the future, right? Remember those days? I bet you don't, Zach.
Oh, burn.
But
Remember when we all thought we were going to die?
we were going to die from
Year 2000?
Y2K. Yeah. People were, oh, good. That is hopefully not on the screen for real.
I am OBS. Okay.
Yeah. Janessa turned into a robot.
Actually, they can't see
Wow,
that.
there
Only
we
we
go.
can see it.
They can't see that yet either.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're sort of getting it up. That's what she said. But yeah. If a game a streamer is playing has licensed music, could a streamer be hit by a DMCA? First, we should explain what a DMCA is for people who don't know. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act is this ancient and gigantic piece of legislation that is designed to protect copyright holders. So it basically came about because of Napster, if you know what that is.
Napster.
It's a file share. It's like BitTorrents, but from the past, before
And
that was a thing.
Livewire.
Yeah, LimeWire.
Is that what it's called? LimeWire. That's what it was.
Yes.
Was this when Metallica got
Yeah,
mad at them?
yes, Metallica was involved. This is before the Pirate Bay people. We're in the dark times, the before times, when you had to use a crank to get on the internet with America Onlines. And so
That was so dangerous. We didn't know what we were downloading.
Yeah.
And half the time it was like that Bill Clinton line. Like it wasn't that.
what were,
It
the hell were you doing?
It wasn't a song. It was like Bill Clinton.
What did Bill Clinton do?
Yeah.
What did he
Yeah,
do?
he
to
was
you?
like, well, no, like,
Show-
okay.
Show us on the doll.
There were a lot of ones where you were trying to download the MP3 and instead it was just a recording of Bill Clinton saying like, I did not have sex with that woman.
Really?
Yes. Please tell me someone knows what I'm talking about.
Nope, no one knows what you're talking.
Okay.
This is, you're just.
I was a Napster
No,
user,
but,
okay?
But no, I mean it's definitely true. I never had that specific.
Audrey's got
experience.
my back.
Audrey's just lying. She's drunk.
She just feels bad.
Yeah, she's just trying to make you feel like you know. No, but you would definitely download stuff that was not what you intended.
Yeah.
And
You
well,
could
now we know
hear
what the
her.
lag is because we could hear her laughing. But yeah, so back in the day, it's just more things just keep popping up on our screen. It's hilarious. You know, you could just download the stuff from Napster, kind of like the Pirate Bay now or just any torrent site. Obviously, copyright holders didn't like this very much because that's their shit, and they would rather sell it to you on CDs, which were these like round pieces of plastic that
Yeah.
had music on them.
Very shiny.
We were at St. Jude and getting a tour of like the hospital, and there was a place that had like one of those old tape players / CD players.
Yeah.
And all the streamers were, like they're all like 12 years old. They're like, "What is that? What does it do?" And I'm just like,
How does it work?
"I'm so old." But yeah, so there was a combination of problems, right? So the copyright holders wanted to just sue Napster, which is what they did. They basically destroyed Napster. And then you had Google and YouTube and people like that saying, "Hey, we don't want to just get destroyed because some people uploaded copyrighted material. That's not great. It's not great for us, you
Yeah.
know." So the DMCA is a set of regulations that lets copyright holders work together with content platforms to take down materials that other people have put on the platforms that violate their copyrights. So for example, if you are Metallica and all of your music is uploaded to the Pirate Bay, you can DMCA. Won't work on the Pirate Bay, I don't think, because they're kind of jerks. If it's uploaded on YouTube and you don't like it, you can flag it as, hey, this is my copyright. I own this.
Take it down.
Take it down. And so the system is set up so that you can do that credibly, quickly, and easily. So copyright owners can protect their copyrights without disrupting the overall service, or making it something where every piece of content that gets uploaded to YouTube has to be approved by a moderator and cleared, because that would just never work. But because of this, the system exists. Everyone who owns a copyright has the ability to file DMCA claims against anyone who's violating their copyright. This can include you as a streamer. If you own your copyrights to things and people are using your content, you can use DMCA to take their stuff down. The most common use of this is in music. Lots of music companies are very, very aggressive about this. Historically goes back to Napster. And then, basically their entire industry was destroyed by not, hopping on board to this, information superhighway that they used to call it, and instead saying, what we like is Borders and Tower Records. Remember Tower Records?
Ooh.
I bet you don't, because it has been gone for a very long time.
Was it in LA?
Yes, it was everywhere.
It had
There
like
was one in Times Square.
Oh.
There was a big one. Yeah, there were probably 3 or 4 in LA. There was certainly one here. It was everywhere. It was like Blockbuster Video, another service that's doing very well these days.
Yeah.
Because they adapted so well to the digital marketplace. So these guys who have traditional copyrights are very aggressive about filing takedown notices. And the way it works is you get your content taken down, and if it's valid, you get a strike against your account. And if you get 3 strikes, just like in that game baseball, you're out.
You're out.
Right. So baseball.
I do.
You know baseball and football.
I played softball when I was a little kid.
All right. How are you on cricket?
Don't know it.
All right. We should start a cricket team, Jamar.
I'm down.
Yes.
I've got a couple days. I'm out.
I like cricket.
I like cricket.
I do like cricket. I taught myself all the rules of cricket over the course of a few months that I was pretty bored.
I feel like you'd have to be really bored.
Well, I was working as a consultant, so I was working as a consultant right when on Xbox you could start streaming like ESPN 9 or whatever, and they would just show cricket, and I was like, I know the rules of like almost every sport. I don't know the rules of cricket. I'll just put it on and see if I can figure it out. It took a very long time, but now I know how cricket works. So it's a pretty great game. And I have been to India, and I've talked about cricket with Indians, and they didn't straight up laugh at me. Same for Bermuda. They love cricket there as well.
I bought a bag of crickets yesterday.
Oliver bought a bag of crickets
eat 'em?
yesterday, and he ate
No,
them.
for my chameleon to eat.
Oh.
He says he has a chameleon, but we've never seen it.
Yeah.
See what I did there? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, if a game is streamed,
Skull.
this is actually it's a really good Hey Skull stream. Hey everybody, thanks for coming in. This is a really good question. It's pretty complicated. If a game a streamer is playing has licensed music, could the streamer be hit with a DMCA? So you're playing Grand Theft Auto. It has all those radio stations in it. you're listening to, you know, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre do, what is that, Still Dre in there that plays every time you complete a quest? Yeah, that's a good dance for it, though.
Yeah.
Can you get DMCA'd for that? Now, I am not a lawyer, and I am not a super duper expert on this topic, but I believe that I'm right when I say yes, you can, because the way this works is it's not very nuanced. You know, it's not like you have these, you know, people out there who are really thinking about, well, should I DMCA this guy? You have like algorithms and programs that are just analyzing sound waves, and they're looking for the beats of, you know, the song Still Dre. And everywhere it finds those beats, it's nice because he owns a company called Beats as well. But
You're on a roll right now.
I know. I'm like the one of bad analogy, or bad linking things up together things. See? Every time it finds those patterns, it files a DMCA because it knows what the song sounds like. And it does that for many songs. So, yes, even though Grand Theft Auto has a license to play that in their game, you don't have a license to broadcast that song any more than they do, right? Like their license is for it to play in the game, not for it to be broadcast on Twitch or to be broadcast on the radio or anything like that. So yeah, you can get DMCA'd for it. Now you can contest DMCAs, but it's very difficult. It can be costly, and you will not win very often because it turns out if you were actually playing the music or you were playing copyrighted content, then you violated it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So in the last couple days, a few streamers have gotten hit with DMCAs, I think on older content in their VODs, right? Or is it in live stuff? Do you know?
I'm not sure if it was live or VOD, but I do know that what it has come down to is like basically one record label got found out what Twitch was, and so they contacted Twitch, and so now, just like you said, it's systematically going through and just flagging the channels that had some of those songs in it. And another thing to think about is that the people that were banned didn't necessarily say like, oh, hey, let me play that song. They had song requests going on. So it was somebody in their chat requesting the song, and you as a streamer don't really know whether that's copyrighted or not, but you're held accountable because it's your stream.
Yeah. Hey, Mel. Nice to see you. Thanks so much. Hey, definitely mod. Yeah, and Skullstream says, my guess would be yes, because some games have started allowing the option of not having copyrighted music play through the game.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's a function specifically thinking about streaming, right? Because if you're just playing the game in your house, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's really smart. Just like that game, what was it, Genital Jousting? I really was disappointed they didn't have like a safe streamer mode where they were just like worms or something. There's so many funny ways you can do that.
I don't even know what that is.
I think I even wrote them an email about it because I was like, come on,
can you
this is
please?
So easy. But yeah.
That's amazing.
So
I do know that some games have worked with Twitch to allow, you know, their streamers to stream them, such as like Just Dance. You're not going to get a DCMA because of that, but your VODs will still get muted.
Yeah, absolutely. And so here's the thing about music. It is the biggest clusterfuck in copyright of everything. Exactly, Dan. Just blur out the penises. How hard is it? But yeah, like the copyrights around music are the most complicated thing because I don't know, the music companies have been at this for a very long time. You know, we talk about streaming is very new, right? It's, you know, Twitch streaming's only been around for sort of 5 or 6 years. You know, being an influencer online's only been around for maybe 8 or 10 years. The game industry's only been around for like 50 years. Music, you know, movies have been around for a little over 100 years. Music has been around for fucking ever, right? Like since the, Baroque period, and, you know, people were like hitting rocks against walls and calling those drums. I don't know. I don't know when music started. I'm not a musician.
Long time ago.
Yeah. It's like, I can kind of play a trumpet, but, you know, that's about it. Also okay with a clarinet.
I had a clarinet growing up and pretended I knew how to play.
Yeah. Well, that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, And
So I played the clarinet. You don't have to be good at it.
That's right. Nothing good comes out of a clarinet. So, I mean, no reason to get good at it.
Yeah.
I wonder if
true.
we can start a band. We're going to start a basketball team.
Yeah. We start all the things.
So we got piano guy over here. I bet Jamar plays like guitar or something.
He plays a brass instrument.
Yeah.
I could be the singer.
Joe probably plays guitar.
Something.
I don't know.
Probably.
Audrey, figure it out. I know you're watching. But yeah, so music copyrights are so complicated that it's not just about. So yeah, some companies will whitelist, right? And we've talked to specifically like Sony Music or people like that, and they want people to play a song like, don't worry, we'll whitelist it. You won't get taken down. But the thing is that it's not just the one company that's doing this, right? Like there's the company, there's the artists, there's people who own, rights in different territories. There's, all this different crap that can happen with who owns rights and who has the ability to enforce these copyrights, that there's really no way to for us, without getting so deep into this that it's all we do, there's no way for us to guarantee, okay, you can play this music and it's going to be cool, Like even there are services now where, the licenses are perfectly fine, I think there's Pretzel Music and a few things like that where you can use it and it has whatever that is, fair use sort of rights to it.
Yeah.
Creative Commons. But that doesn't mean it will always stay that way. And I don't know, that shit's so complicated, I don't even want to mess with it. In general, I would stay away from any sort of copyrighted music on your stream.
Yeah.
It's just safer.
So Pretzel Rocks is what I've been using, and it's pretty cool. You just launch it in the browser and it plays. A lot of it's just electronic music, but it's all licensed. They worked with the artists themselves to get their permission, and there's also a monthly subscription option to where it has a little bit better music, and then those artists are being compensated as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems like the safest option right now, unless you're a DJ, you want to play your own music.
Yeah. I mean, look for those services that offer Creative Commons or specific licenses for streaming. Mm-hmm. I think, as Janessa was saying, the scariest thing about what's happening right now is that it's happening to people that are doing song requests. Because specific companies are actually DMCAing, and guess what? The trolls have figured out what songs are by those companies, and they request them, and then you get DMCA'd and you get a strike. And I'm serious, 3 strikes is not it's not like on Twitch where you get a 24-hour ban or something. 3 strikes and your channel is done.
Done.
You're just done. You have to start over.
And I think the terms of service says you're going to get a warning. Your warning is your first strike, which includes a 24-hour ban.
Yep. And those strikes, the first 2 strikes don't actually do anything except that Twitch gives you a ban, but you don't want them. No. You don't want to be anywhere near them, right? It's just it's you don't want to have a couple felonies in the background, because well.
You want to have no priors.
Yeah, you want to have no priors, right? There you go. Don't ride dirty on Twitch. I don't know. Next thing. Yeah, and remember, so the platforms they're there to protect themselves. Twitch is going to try to do things that help you and, will help protect you, but ultimately, the responsibility for your channel is yours. You can play whatever on the channel, they will react to it, if you do something that's against terms of service, they will react and they'll ban you, but they can't instantly ban you because they're not in every channel watching everything all the time.
That's the nature of live streaming.
Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the day, there's only so much they can help. There was a situation at BlizzCon where several streamers got DMCA'd because they were streaming the opening ceremonies, and there was some confusion because some people at Blizzard had said it was fine, and, obviously it wasn't fine, so, they got taken down. And, there was only so much anyone could do about that because, a lot of it is programmatic, and these laws are friggin' serious business laws. So, you can't just, it's not even trivial for a company to reverse a strike. because reversing a strike gives them a strike for a false claim. So, once these things
they
are
don't
in
want
motion,
to.
yeah, they don't want to do that, right? For the same reason you don't want to get strikes, because if I don't know what their rules are, but you get 10 fake, DMCA's, maybe you lose your ability to do it, or you have to. I don't know what the punishment is, but it dings you somehow or another. So, you just don't want to get anywhere near this. Like, stay away from the strikes.
Stay
kids.
away.
So I think the other topic we wanted to talk about is, with E3 and all the stuff coming out, we want to start talking a bit about game selection, how you choose what you're going to play, and ultimately, how do you set up for the rest of the year, right? Like, we have a quick list of sort of some of the major launches that are coming out this year.
And this is why it's called the New Year episode, because it is the new year of the gaming world, and it's a good time for you to plan out your stream based on what's coming up. So, what do we got going on?
I think they're right there.
All right. So
the first one is a fish game, COD.
Thank COD. Black Ops 4 comes out October 12th. I think I'm going to be playing this one. I mean, it's your FPS. Everybody's sort of generally hyped about it. We'll see if it continues to live on past release date. I don't know too much about COD Black Ops, to be honest. I feel like everyone's just like, oh yeah, COD, let's go. Oh, it will be on PC.
Oh, that's good.
So I want to play my first COD on PC.
Yes, COD PC.
COD.
It's like COD piece.
I'm missing all of your jokes here.
Shakespeare. Come on, get on the trolley. Yes. Oh, burn, Skullstream. Should do this for a living. Destiny 2 Forsaken. People are excited about that one.
Are we excited or are we heartbroken?
You tell me.
Have you seen the reveal trailer?
No.
Oh, I wish we could watch it right here.
Wow, look at did you see the pain?
There's so much pain.
It's just like in The Princess Bride, The Sound of Ultimate Suffering, which she knows nothing about.
I don't.
But that was it, right? You people in chat know what I'm talking about. So you not.
Well, I'm a Destiny person. I started as a Destiny streamer, so it's still like very close to my heart. But they killed off a prominent character.
Yeah, Ned Stark.
In E3. I don't know who that is.
Spoiler alert.
They killed Cade.
Cade.
Yeah.
Not Cade.
They did.
I loved Cade.
They shot him in the face.
He was fantastic, right? He was the guy.
He was the funny one.
Yeah, he had all the things that he collected. Yeah.
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 You're really good at just going with it. But yeah, spoiler alert, they shot him in the head and you saw his body drop to the ground, and that's about all that they showed.
But he's not dead. He's just going to become Forsaken.
They assure everyone that he is dead, and everybody, the whole Destiny community for a long time has been wanting more story, so it's really funny to me that they're like shocked that this happened. Like all the good stories have some heartbreak involved. This is going to make you really hate the villains in the game and really make you want to avenge Cade. So I think that this is going to happen in the beginning of the game, and then it's going to set the scene for the rest of the DLC. So Forsaken is the DLC that's coming out on September 4th. And yes, Audrey, they killed his ghost, so he cannot revive. He can't come back.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Do you remember when DC Comics spent like 3 years slow motion killing Superman, and they're like, he's dead. He's definitely dead. He's never coming back. We're killing Superman. We 100% guarantee this. 3 months later,
he came back.
Oh, there were 4 Supermen now with their own comics. They're like, which one's the real Superman? Spoiler alert, none of them were. And then there's a whole other thing where you can buy more Superman comics to get Superman back. I'm just saying, Nathan Fillion not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Calling it.
A lot of people think that he's too expensive to pay for. Mm-hmm. I don't buy into it. It's Bungie.
He works cheap. Yeah, all those people from, what was that, Firefly? Yeah, they work cheap.
Poor Firefly.
Yeah. But actually, like, you can get pretty much any celebrity to do like a little bit of voice acting. It's not nearly as expensive as you think.
Yeah, not as much as real acting.
Ouch! Take that, voice actors.
Yeah, you
Damn! Nobody clip it. I'll never have a voice acting career ever.
Other stuff coming out: Battlefield V. This is the.
I think that means 5.
Yes. This is the one that everyone's very angry about because there's girls in it.
God forbid.
Yeah, which is wonderful and stupid. But obviously Battlefield, it's going
Ew,
back to
cooties.
it's going back to World War II, right? So that's exciting because that's where it started with the battlefields. The only time I ever played Battlefield, it was World War II.
I played Battlefield 4 and it was just so much chaos. There's like 80 people on the ground, which I guess is the whole premise of Battlefield, but
Yeah, what a bunch of jerks. Fallout 76. Man, everything's got numbers in it. How did they make 75 Fallout games already? It's impressive. Fallout 76, I think.
whenever I see the Fallout 76, I just think of like Soldier 76 from Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
I just thought it was like an interesting number. And then it's on the back of a jacket, which is just like Overwatch. It's confusing to me.
It's also our nation's,
tricentennial.
yeah, it will be our tricentennial. That'll be fun. Hopefully we'll do the same crap that Ronald Reagan did back in whenever that happened last time. Anyway. I don't know a ton about Fallout. Yeah, in 1776 we did have a little revolution.
It's just a little one.
Yeah, it was probably the smallest revolution that we participated in. But yeah, I don't know a ton about Fallout 76. I know people are hyped as hell for it.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was going to be like a battle royale, and then they were also worried because Bethesda was going to like jump on this trend, but it's actually a survival game. So they've got some skeptics, like how is this going to work? But I think everyone's generally hyped about it.
Yeah, I mean with Bethesda, right? They really have to screw it up, you know. Like they are just a fantastic developer. Like, I mean, I don't think they've ever put out. What's the weakest thing they've ever put out? You know, like I can't even think of something that really, really draws criticism from them. So I'm excited, and you know, Fallout Shelter was fantastic. It's probably the Fallout I've played the most.
So Zach says Fallout 76 is scratching Quest's storyline and NPC and replacing it with survival multiplayer games similar to Rust and Ark and all those types of games.
That's cool. I wonder how long a game of Fallout 76 is intended to take, because we've seen some interesting shifts in survival games too, where people are saying, yeah, we don't want the instant battle royale, you know, everyone kills everyone as quickly as possible thing. We actually want to make that original idea that a lot of them had of it's a sandboxy world, a lot of stuff's going on, you know, people are going to hang around for a while and, you know, build something together. Like there's the game Rend. It's kind of made by some friends of ours in Orange County. Same kind of premise, like where, you know, it's going to be like a very persistent world and the survival is going to take, you know, like weeks, I think is the plan, as opposed to an hour. It's interesting to see how the sort of battle royale and survival genre is evolving and sort of splitting into a few different things, and you know, I think it's gonna be some really cool stuff.
But what if I spend like 2 weeks building something and someone else comes and like just kills it all?
That is a bummer, man.
That would be awful.
Well, that was the problem with like Ultima Online, to go back, right? Is this idea that, you know, the world is always there whether you're logged in or not, and so, you know, you build a house and like people can come and just like burn that shit to the ground while you're not there.
It's like the real world,
Yeah.
but chaos.
Yeah, it's like the real world, you know, where
No consequences.
my house is probably burning down right now. Like, it's real hard to say.
You shouldn't have left your house.
Yeah, I gotta go. But oh, IKI, that is not true. Come on. Battle Royale is a new genre of games. You know, people said the same thing about MOBAs. They said the same thing about FPS. They said the same thing about mobile games. Every new genre, you know, like, and I'm not a huge BR player. I actually don't really play any of them. Mostly I suck at shooting things, so they're very frustrating games for me. But it's not my jam. And that's fine, right? But that like for a lot of people, this is opening up gameplay that they've never seen before or that they really like. It really resonates. And for me, it's really cool because I've been in the game industry a long time, and every time a new genre shows up, it just expands the pie. It's more jobs, more people working in the game industry, more cool stuff happening. And, you know, in the moment, it can get annoying, right? Because, like, oh, God, another Battle Royale game. Like, remember how there were, like, 9 million Minecraft games that came out right after Minecraft, right? And most of them aren't that good. And that's fine. Like, and most of them will fail. But the genre will exist and be meaningful to people who enjoy it. And that's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's gonna push the gaming industry into new and different genres. I personally, the very first Battle Royale I ever played was Fortnite, and I didn't know that I liked Battle Royale until that. Because I tried H1, I tried PUBG, and I just hated it. So they're not all created equal.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, RTS, another genre.
Cuisine Royale?
Cuisine Royale, what is that?
Do I get to fight people with creme brulees? That's what I get from
That's
that.
gonna be hard. 'Cause creme brulee is very.
It wasn't the best choice, but
It's
yeah.
not very solid.
Yeah.
So to kill someone with a creme brulee,
Maybe it's poison.
I would watch that.
It's all out kitchen warfare.
Yeah, all out kitchen warfare. But yeah, I mean, like, all these different genres are cool. And as Samurai King says, more pie is always better. Very, very true. Yeah,
Everyone
wouldn't
likes pie.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take a hot creme brulee to the face. I mean, also, I guess anyone who has a creme brulee probably has blowtorch. So that's dangerous because you need one of those.
Yeah.
But, and what else? Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man game is so good, apparently. I was talking to a
So
streamer,
good.
and he got hands-on at E3, and he told me, it's like, you know, you have like 30 minutes of hands-on, and they had this whole thing where, you know, go over here, fight this boss, whatever. He's like, I just swung around for like 30 minutes, and they kicked me out. He's like, your time's up, and he's like, well, I haven't done anything yet. It's like, well, sorry. He's like, but I was just having fun swinging around, like, because I don't know. Like,
That sounds pretty enjoyable. If you can have that much fun just like climbing on buildings and stuff. A lot of people are very hyped for that game.
yeah, Johnny Scar gifted a tier 1 sub to Danatage. Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yes, really appreciate that, man.
Congratulations, Danatage. There's lots of weapons in the kitchen.
There are. We should do a Iron Chef here in the office.
I would love that. Not that I'm a good cook, but I like to cook.
Yes, we did Iron Chef at like a holiday party at Sony one year, just in the break room. So, you know, there was like various kitchen implements and a toaster oven. And that was pretty much it. It's like, and a microwave. It's like, go nuts, make like 4 courses. We won.
I'm reading this book about like, oh man, I'm gonna screw up the name, but it's called like mise en scene. Like, how do I say it?
It's a French word.
Yeah,
Mise en
it's
scene.
French.
Yeah.
Mise en scene. So it's this idea that like in the kitchen everything's organized and it all has a place. I think it would be amazing that like you're killing someone with all the weapons, but then you have to like put it back and like prep it for the next kill. That would be so cool.
That's awesome. Hey, Deep Box Games, how you doing, man? Camelot Unchained beta starts very soon. That's cool. That'll be exciting. There's a lot of those, like Shroud of the Avatars coming up soon. A lot of the, how do you even say that? Johnny Scar subscribed 41 months in a row. Thank you, sir. Got a gift for you next time we see some Aquavit. Oh, I am familiar with, hopefully I say it right,
Aquavit?
Svalbard.
Svalbard.
Yes. I have a friend who is obsessed with that place for some reason. But yeah, no, I really appreciate it. And yes, I have given a good home to the last Aquavit that you gave me. I really appreciate it. Awesome to have you.
Thank you.
Wait, this is a real game, Zach? You're really I thought you were just making this up. There is Cuisine Royale.
No, that's a real game.
I'm gonna be
Oh,
the best
awesome.
at this game.
I mean, it sounds like the house flipping game, right? It's just like, really? This, really?
I gave House Flipper a good try. I returned it.
Oh, burn. That is harsh.
Yeah.
So, There are. Oh yeah, I bet, Johnny. I really want to come up there and visit. It's one of the regions of the world that I still haven't seen, and I can't find anyone who says anything bad except that it's cold, and I don't mind that it's cold. So, but yeah, I'd love to come check it out, and I can't wait to see you. Hopefully at TwitchCon or PAX.
Yes, Gunny.
Yeah.
I flipped that game.
Yeah, Jen really is. It's like one of the only games she's excited about is House Flipper.
Really?
Yeah, because she likes to flip houses.
That's true. I liked watching it, but playing it, I was just like, you have to paint every section of the wall. Like, I can't.
I don't like doing that in real life. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it in a game.
And then I just ended up feeling bad. I'm like, well, I could be working on my house or like doing laundry. Like, instead I'm doing it virtually.
Yeah, I can't remember who I was talking to. Someone was saying that one of the big audiences for like Farm Simulator is actually farmers.
Huh.
And they, it's sort of like, well, I don't know. Gosh, I wish I had soybeans. Wouldn't it be nice to grow soybeans? So they grow it in the game because they can't grow it or whatever. It's just like a relaxing version where, you do all the stuff that you like doing, but it's not hard.
Yeah. And you can do it while sitting.
Yeah. So with all these great releases that are coming out, everyone's going to be tempted to, play them because that's the idea. And they're going to be tempted to, stream them if you're a streamer, right? And so a real question comes up is, when should you stream these games, right? Like when you understand that, Lyric, Co, all these people are tweeting about Spider-Man, Fallout, whatever. They're going to be there on day one. Does it make sense to be there on day one? Like, how do you look at that? How do you think about games?
Well, so I am an affiliate on Twitch. I would say like I'm doing pretty well for myself, but I would still consider myself on the smaller side. It's a hard question. I try to resist playing things at launch just because so many people are playing them. You're virtually going to be at the bottom of the list. It's just like playing Fortnite, which I actually do all the time, but I know I shouldn't because you're so far down there that you're not going to be really attracting any browsers of Twitch. No one's going to be like scrolling that far down. On the other hand, if you rely on getting your viewers just from your followers, or maybe if you have like a different social media presence and you can bring them from there, I would say that you can play it, but you're not going to be seeing organic growth from like something on day one.
Absolutely. Tangent, thank you for the host, man. Nice to see you.
Tangent,
hope you're
thank
doing well.
you.
We haven't chatted in a bit. No, but really appreciate it, dude. Yeah, no, I totally agree with this. I mean, I think that it's a trap. To use the words of the illustrious Admiral Akbar. Yeah, I said it slow because that way you would be worried I didn't know his name, but I freaking know the Mon Calamari Admiral Akbar and every line he's had in every movie. I sent away the little proofs of purchases to get his action figure when I was a small child.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes. And then I could go, it's a trap! And the paint came off.
Before
and I
the
liked him
meme
so much.
existed,
Yes.
like you just...
It was always a meme, man. I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater when I was like 5 or whatever. I was like, it's a trap! Like, you just knew. It was hilarious. It was hilarious the second you heard it. Because, I mean, why does he even exist?
Yeah.
Why is he a fish man? Why is he in charge of this fleet? Like, he does not even seem qualified. But there he is, and he's just like, and it's like, it's a trap. You didn't think there might be a trap when you're going after the frickin' Death Star? Like, you're the Admiral. You're in charge of this stuff. Tangent, thank you for the sub, man. Really appreciate it. Woo!
We need to have a sub dance.
Oh, thank you,
I'll do
sir.
it.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Well, now you have to come, even if you're not on the show when we get a sub.
Yeah.
You just, like, burst.
I'll just like run through.
Yeah, burst through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man and do the sub dance. What was it again?
Like this.
Oh, so you should have been like, I'm not going to show you until we get another sub.
Oh, it was a trap.
It was a trap. Yeah, but guys, if you're not following Tangent, make sure you check him out. He's an awesome dude. But yeah, so playing this game on day one is a trap. Like, unless you're unless you're Ninja, unless you're going to sit at the very top of the directory, then discoverability is almost impossible. And what that means is that no one is going to find you, right? The hardest thing when you're a small streamer is what? Getting more viewers. So how do you get viewers? Like you're looking for people who like, oh, I'm interested in this game. Let me click on it. Oh, let me find a channel. Let me click on it. If you're channel 3,000 in this list, there's no chance that anyone's going to click on you. To go back to something we were talking about at the very beginning of the show, multivariate testing, A/B testing, something that I've done a lot working on websites in my life. And I can tell you, when you have a rotator or you have a set of links or whatever, you have 3 links, right? You have link 1, link 2, link 3. 80% of the clicks go to link 1. Then about like 12 to 15% go to link 2, and then the rest go to link 3 through 8 million. Meow. Oh, Johnny Scar, thank you for gifting the sub to Meow. Nice to see you. Woo. Oh, yeah. Got all them emotes, got the ramen. I was explaining the ramen noodles to some people earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Because, not everyone is familiar.
Your start in the gaming industry.
Yeah, with how I got started in the game industry.
Ramen.
Stepping in a bowl of ramen noodles. But yeah, Meow Yin, if you don't know her, is a fantastic artist. She draws all kinds of great stuff, does emotes for people, all that. She is phenomenal.
Did she draw these cute little hi? That's
Possibly.
cute.
I don't know. She can tell us. But yeah. Yeah, ramen. I've told that story like 3 or 4 times in the last week. Samurai King, it's hilarious. I don't know why either. It just keeps coming up.
Yeah.
We talk about ramen a lot here because there's a lot of good ramen places in San Diego.
Have you been to Mania Ultra?
I haven't, but I have heard so much about it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I was going to die. I could have died and been happy.
Yeah, I have to go. I've been told too many times.
You have to go early because, like, their wait list fills up.
Yeah. Well, they're opening more locations.
Ooh.
And another crazy ramen guy from Japan is like coming over and starting a place in Oceanside. It's a great decision. I was like, hey, let me start my my brand new restaurant in like RoboCop's area of Detroit. Like,
well, now we know how you feel about Oceanside.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's okay. Brian Kibler lives there. So how bad can it be?
Brian Kibler.
Oh, Brian Kibler. He classes up everywhere, even Oceanside.
Magic again last week.
Yeah. So, yeah, these big releases, when you're small, mid-range, if you're playing on the first few days, you're just not going to get anything out of it. You're not going to get new viewers. You're not going to get noticed. It'll be fun, right? Because like everyone likes playing the new games. But in reality, waiting to figure out the right moment. Like I think Danataj said he usually waits about a month on a AAA game, which is probably about right for his size. The good rule of thumb is to make sure, like when possible, that you are the top channel in whatever game you're streaming. Now, playing Fortnite, that's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
It's going to be impossible for a lot of games for a small streamer. But if you can find the games where you can be one of the top streamers most of the time, that are also, games where there are viewers. This is an important thing.
It can't be too obscure.
Yes.
I mean, at least make sure that the game category exists.
Yeah, but I mean, even less obscure than that.
Yeah.
Like, I talked to a small streamer at TwitchCon, and they were explaining how, they like to play like sort of the unusual classic games. It's like right now I'm streaming Fallout 2. It's like I love Fallout and I feel like that game doesn't get enough attention. It's like, well, yeah, Fallout 2 I'm sure is a great game, right? But how many people are there right now, just think about this, right now on the internet, typing Fallout 2 into Google? Just think about that.
Very little.
I'm going to say it's less than 5 in the whole world.
This is your funnel idea.
Yes, this is the funnel. So when you think about who could come into your channel if you're looking for new viewers, right? You have all the people in the world, right? They could come into your channel. then they have to know about Twitch, so that reduces it by, let's say 90%. Now, people that, know about Twitch have to be on Twitch. They have to be, and then they have to be looking for your specific game, right? So a lot of people on Twitch are searching for Fallout, and they're searching for League of Legends, they're searching for, all of these games. How many people do you think are searching for Fallout 2? And if the answer is 0,
who's gonna find you?
yeah. If there's nobody to find you, then, you might as well hang out with that guy whose ghost got killed in the Destiny thing we talked about. Because you'll be on the ground with him dead, right?
Dead.
But I mean, this is an important thing, right? Like, because while the advice is find games that there aren't a lot of people streaming so you can be the top, it's a balance against the number of viewers, and it's a hard concept because you have to find games that people are interested in, but not so interested in that, you've got like Dan's Gaming sitting there and Kim sitting there.
Yeah.
And so like there have been some good examples, and actually Danatage, just copying what Danatage does is probably a pretty good place to go if you're just looking for the 101, because he's been thinking about this stuff for a long time, and is very successful at it. But a good example of a game like that is like FTL or RimWorld. They're indie games, so they don't have these like massive amounts of people watching. You go to the directory, and yeah, there's usually 2 or 3, maybe 10 streamers playing. But it's pretty rare there's somebody with like 1,000 people. Sometimes like Sacriel's playing RimWorld, but you don't see like tons and tons of that. So a lot of the time, if you were playing RimWorld, you would be the top channel. Now, what is that? Fallout 2 on Google.
Apparently, it's a bad example.
What the hell? Well, but you gotta compare it to something.
They can't see this.
Yeah. Jamar just threw up the Google like put it up next to like Fallout 4.
Okay.
See what happens. But
well, I do have a little bit of an interesting point about that Fallout whenever we get that up. But I want to give a shout out to someone in chat right now who is Skullstream, recently just got partnered. His idea is that when he was trying to grow, he would not play a game that he wasn't in the first 2 lines, so the top 8.
Yep.
And he was very successful with things like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, because they have a really passionate and loyal community, but not so many people are playing them.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that is a more liberal version of it's like you need to be the top.
Yeah.
You need to be one of the top, right? But definitely
if you can be number 1,
yeah,
that's ideal.
If you have to scroll to find your channel, you're in the wrong place. That's a very easy way to look at it.
Yeah.
So one trick, this is the best trick that I've seen for this. It is Burke Black's trick that
Ooh.
I had never seen anybody do this before. But what he would explain is he would go to Steam and he would look at what the bestseller list is, right? It's like PUBG, whatever. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's always at the top. But then there'd be a game that's like number 6 that's, like Skyrim. And Skyrim's on sale for like 99 cents or something. But because Skyrim is on sale, all of a sudden a bunch of people are interested in Skyrim, and if they're buying it, then there's a bunch of people who are thinking about buying it. Now, what that means is, and this is how people get discovered, it's like, think about when you're thinking of buying a game, you're like, let me go watch a YouTube video, let me go watch a streamer, let me see what this game is about for a few minutes before I buy it. So a lot of your audience can come through that way. They're looking to make a purchasing decision. So if you find a game, and what you do is, look at that list and then go look at the Twitch directory, right? So it's like, oh, PUBG's number 1. Look up PUBG. Oh, there's 1,000 people. All right, what's next? Dota. All right, oh, there's 1,000 people. All right, what's next? You keep going down until you find maybe 30, 40 down. But all those games are selling, dozens of copies, hundreds of copies, thousands of copies. I don't remember offhand right now when you get pretty far down. But those have audience and interest, right? Like Steam is doing your marketing for you. So if you can find a game where you could be the top of that directory and it's the number 20 game best selling on Steam, a lot of people are looking for it. And guess what? Co's not like, oh shit, Skyrim's on sale. Let me get in there, right? Like the guys that are big, like they can kind of just go where they want.
Yeah.
So they tend to stick with like newer releases or whatever they find interesting. They don't need to be opportunistic this way, but as a smaller streamer, you have to look at these things to gain an advantage, and once you have like 100 to 200 concurrent, being the top game or the top streamer in a channel is a lot easier, for some of these things. Obviously when you're on like 5 to 10, it's hard to be the top, the top anywhere. But the bigger you get, the easier this gets and the more options you'll have. But being disciplined about it at first is going to save you a lot of pain, because you could do 100% playthrough of Spider-Man the first month that it's out and nobody sees it, right? So from the perspective of I'm working, you really didn't get very much value out of all that work.
The time that you put in.
Yeah.
Another number that I look at is when you're searching for these games on Twitch and seeing how many people are playing them, there's also like at the top by the game, it'll tell you how many viewers, but it'll also tell you how many followers. So that's a good indicator of like people that follow this game specifically, and they're looking for people playing that game versus just certain streamers.
Yeah, absolutely. And that hadn't even occurred to me, because that's a new thing in Twitch.
It's pretty new, yeah.
But no, it's great, right? Because it really shows out. It's like, look, thousands of people are paying attention to this game. Nobody's streaming it.
Yeah.
Well, I could be streaming it. Now let me. Tangent also says in chat, networking for early access for good ambitious games also works well. Games like Graveyard Keeper that people can get access to can work. Yeah, this is very true. Like, and it works really well for the right indie games. Like They Are Billions is another one that did really well, right? And Danatage and Simcopter were a couple of guys that, were really big onto that early, and saw some pretty impressive growth because of it. Part of it is the game itself, right? Like, if the company isn't marketing the game, then no one's coming, right? But yeah, Frostpunk is another good example. Because the devs of Frostpunk, GOG, all these companies were pushing it really hard, there was a lot of awareness about it. So even though it was kind of an indie game, like people knew it was there, and people were searching. It's like, what is this Frostpunk thing? Let me go check it out. Oh, who is this Danatage guy? Like, well, he's playing. He's at the top. I'll watch him. Like, oh, I kind of like this guy. Let me just toss him a follow. And some amount of those become your audience in the future, right? Like, that's how you get people. And then, you get the opportunity to charm them, win them over, and then they become your fans, and they fall in love and eventually subscribe to you and, show up at TwitchCon, ask for your autograph. But, that's getting way down the funnel, right? First thing you have to do is get the people in there. And that's really the hardest part. Selecting these games and playing them at the right times is really important. I remember watching people that were so passionate about being like the top channel that there would be things like, it's like, okay, Lyric just switched in, I'm gonna switch games, because I'm no longer getting the first click. Like I said, 85% of people click on the first thing, then only 10 or so percent click on the second. So you just went from getting 80% of the viewers to now getting like 10%. Might as well go somewhere else. Other people will do things like follow a big streamer, right? Like, used to call it the Lyric effect, where Lyric would go in and he'd play My Little Pony Adventures or Hello Kitty Island, and he would jump it up to like the number 3 game on Twitch by himself, and people would just start playing whatever he was playing, because they would then be number 2 in a directory. So people go in and be like, what is Hello Kitty Island Adventure? It's like, oh, stupid Lyric's just playing it, I don't like it. Well, who's this other idiot that's playing it? Or sometimes like Lyric just he turns the stream off. He's like, guys, I'm done. If he was playing a game that was remotely interesting, some amount of those people are going to go, well, I'm going to go into this game, like see, I'm going to go see what this guy's all about, because Lyric's gone. Yeah, so I mean, that strategy, that can work. It's very risky and very dependent on luck. So I wouldn't recommend chasing people. The best thing to do is to really look for underdeveloped directories, like places that have a lot of followers, for the game, but not a lot of people streaming it. Games that may be on sale right now, things that are in a humble bundle, another great place to look, where, like thousands of people are buying Humble Bundles, and a lot of them are making those decisions, on the fly. Like, am I going to buy this game? They're going to go watch streams. And guess what? A lot of the games on Humble Bundle or GOG or, Chrono or sites like that, a lot of them are older and, have been around for a while. So you don't have the big streamers going, oh, what's on Humble Bundle? Like, the Stanley Parable? Well, let me get in there,
Yeah.
So it gives you an opportunity to grow that way.
I like what Tangent and Danotosh said about the early access. And I feel like you can always, the reason why there's less people streaming that game is because not everybody can just go buy it. But even as a small or mid-level streamer, you can reach out to the dev and email them and ask them like, hey, can I advertise your game for you? You don't have to pay me, just give me a key. Like, if you're a smaller streamer, then you can totally leverage that and then get in on that directory that has a lot of viewers, but nobody else can play it.
Yeah, and there are some companies, like almost every game publisher now has like an influencer relations team or like a community manager who's kind of in charge of that. So some of them do it better than others, but I was having lunch with some of my old EverQuest coworkers, and Sony Online was a place that really did a good job with live streamers. From all the way back, like, my first day there, like the president of Sony was talking about how important live streamers were going to be. So built relationships that last to this day, that have value. Like, I met many of our clients, including Tangent, while I was working at Sony. And because of that, like, when you find a good company that's actually looking for ways to promote and help streamers grow, building those relationships can have a ton of value, Like, a lot of these companies now, they're kind of trying to collect streamers. Like, they'll send out 1,000 emails, like, join our program, and, like, we will send, it's like basically being on a newsletter, but then they have it so that they can, constantly be telling you when stuff is coming out. But some of them do actually take care. And if you find those, you partner with those guys, they'll be promoting you through their channels. They'll have you do, their content videos. Like, they'll put you in the games, things like that. And those things can have
a game?
Yeah, you can be in the game. Towley and Bajir are in World of Warcraft. I've been an emote in a game before. That was weird.
Really?
Yes. A story for another day. But yeah, those kinds of things, they can have value, right? Like, we spend a lot of time talking about, don't do work for free. That's very important. Don't do work for free. But what this isn't free work. This is a strategic partnership that could help you, develop. Now, as you're working with them, if you feel like you're doing a ton of work and not getting anything out of it, don't do it anymore, right? Like, that's important. But some of these companies, they do legitimately give back. They will go out of their way. I don't want to name names because we don't name the bad people, so I don't want to name the good people either. But we work with some companies where they do things like, I was talking to a guy who sort of runs influencer management for a company we really like, and he personally, on his way home from, I think it was PAX or something, stopped in like 3 or 4 different cities to see the streamers that, were sort of his best relationships, high value relationships for him. Completely like had to go sell his boss on, I'm gonna fly to, some of these cities are like not major areas. Like, I'm gonna go fly and I'm gonna hang out with this guy for a day, and this is a good use of my time. Now, when you're talking to people like that, those guys can do a lot of work for you. They can be really valuable, and you'll be really valuable to them. Those kinds of partnerships are hard to find, but as a smaller streamer, looking at indie companies like Graveyard Keeper, things like that can do really well. Tangent says, games that have continued and steady releases also do well, but you have to be very continuous, like sports games. Yeah, like sports game streamers feel a lot like, like World of Warcraft or RuneScape streamers, Like, we look at somebody like Nick number T, I think it's 35T, or, Cash Nasty, who plays NBA, and that's all they do.
Nasty.
Like, I love Cash Nasty, man, he's awesome. But that's all they do. They just play that game nonstop, just the way, like Bodhi just plays RuneScape, or Towley, pretty much just plays WoW. And you get a lot of results that way, but at the same time, it can make it difficult to do other stuff, right? So
Right.
you then have to go back and watch our VODs about, how to escape from being a single game streamer, because that can set you up for a whole new set of problems.
There was a question in chat. It said, is there a drawback from switching games too much?
Is there a drawback from switching games too much? Yeah, a little bit. So every time you switch game, like some of your viewers, are there because of the game, right? Like, and we just spent a lot of time talking about using the game as a discovery method. Like I'm playing Fallout and people are searching for Fallout. That's how they're finding me. Well, obviously those people want to watch frickin' Fallout, right? That's why they're there. And then, you have your opportunity to show them that you're, a pretty cool guy, and so maybe they'll stick with you. But when you change games, some amount of those people are going to leave, because no matter how, charming you are or how good your mustache is, Dan, like, they're not there for that. They're there for Fallout. And it's like, well, you're not playing Fallout anymore. I'm going to go watch Fallout. So there's nothing you can do about that. So the more you change games, the more likely you are to have people who kind of fall off without having built that relationship. So it's a hard question to answer. There's no right answer. You have to do it for 4 days and then you're fine, right? It's really, I think a lot of it is about how you feel about the games you're playing. Like, is it something you feel like sticking around in? And, communicating that to your audience makes a big difference. Lyric sometimes switches games like 8 times during a stream, but his audience is so used to it that it doesn't matter. Like, that's not why they're there. He's become his own thing. You really can't, as a smaller streamer, and I think Co is one of the people that said this, but a bunch of streamers that I know have said this, because we'll do panels or whatever, and people is like, well, how do I get big? How did you get big? And the first thing they say is like, look, like, you can't look at me as an example, because I got big, 4 years ago. Everything was different. It'd be like, we're just talking about Napster and AOL and stuff, right? It's like, well, you need to download Napster first, right? Like, it's not relevant anymore. So, when you look at, like, don't look at what Lyric is doing or what Co is doing if you have, 30 viewers. Like, he's almost like a different species than you. Like, he's playing a different game than you are. You need to look at your colleagues, like, look at your peers. Other people that are 30, look at people that are 50 to 100 streamers or viewers. What are they doing that's different than you? How long are they sticking in games? Build relationships with them, ask them questions, because they've gotten like the next rung up the ladder. Learning from people that are 10 rungs up the ladder, it's just not super relevant to where you are, right? It's like you don't, like, when you're a high school basketball player, you don't need LeBron James's advice. You need like a college basketball coach's advice. That's the guy who can help you, because the next thing you need to do is get, recruited by a college to become a college basketball player, right? LeBron James is not going to go, cool, man. He's just going to be like, fucking just do what I do. Like, come on. Like, yeah. Yeah, he didn't go to college. So he'd probably tell you not to go to college. But
since I know nothing about basketball, I need the high schoolers' advice.
Yes, which LeBron James could give you. Yeah, a weird story about LeBron James, man. It involves Batman.
We're just going to leave it like that.
We're just going to leave it like that. But yeah, so I think we've talked about, like, should people jump onto games immediately after release? No, not really. Look for games that, have a good audience but don't necessarily have enough content being delivered for them. Look at companies that you can partner with, indie game companies, things like that, might be more interested in having somebody like, your size around. Sure, everybody wants Co to come stream their game, but, when you're a smaller game, you just want some people to show up, man. Like, we've talked to some companies where they're like, look, our biggest concern is it's going to be a week after launch. People are going to search on YouTube and there's not going to be a video of our game. And then what do we do? And it's like, well, that's some sad shit, dude. But, you can hire people, like, sponsor smaller streamers, it won't cost as much money, and they can just create content that will fill that gap. But you're really looking at partnering with different sorts of people is important. Don't chase the things that the big streamers are doing. That's not going to get you where you want to be. What else we got? Oh, a good strategy is to study the schedule of larger streamers who end while playing what you're playing. Yes, that is true. Mm-hmm. If you know, but again, it only really works if you're going to be behind them. So if you go into Warframe right now, because Ko's streaming that a little bit, and Ko is up here and he's like, guys, I'm getting off, but you're streamer number 35 on Warframe, you're not going to benefit directly from Ko getting off, most likely. Now, whoever's number 2 in that directory, 3 and 4 and 5 might. So if you can be in that group of people, then you're in good shape. But making sure that you're in those top 2 rows is super, super important. Terminals isn't a bad way for creators to connect. Yeah, I mean, it's not. There's actually a few sites like that are just sort of key distribution groups. The thing about them, you can get the keys and that's good, but you're not going to build the relationships with the companies. And ultimately, I think, because a game costs $20, a game costs $30. At some level, you can just buy it, right? But what's valuable is when that company is like, hey, come to E3. We want you to stream on stage. We want to show you off as the example of what a streamer looks like for our game. Or, hey, we're going to tweet you out. We're going to share you in our newsletter, things like that. And because of that, building those relationships has a lot of value. And the sort of key service sites and the bounty board sort of things, they remove that contact with the companies, and that costs you something, right? And that's very intentional too, right? They're doing that because the less, if a publisher doesn't know any streamers, then they have to use a service to get to the streamers. So the less contact you have with streamers, the less contact that game publishers have with you, then the more they feel like, gosh, I don't even know what's going on here. The streaming thing is crazy. Let me just give my money to somebody who will solve this problem for me. And again, just like in anything, right? When you're disconnected from the company, you lose a lot of the value that you get by, being able to talk to somebody.
And usually you can find those contacts through Google, through Twitter search, and you can send them an email, and then you meet the person. Or you can ask them, hey, is there a better contact, a person that I can request this from, and then they connect you to the person you should be talking to.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, there's a small chance of rejection there, which I understand why people use terminals, because you can just click buttons and get them. But
oh yeah, I mean, and everybody gets rejected. I mean, we've seen Ko get rejected, and it's hilarious when it happens. Yeah, well, we'll put him on the list. Yeah, okay. It's don't worry, I'll call your boss. But it happens, right? Because everyone's just humans, and you can't expect every person to know who every major streamer is. It's just not realistic. So don't beat yourself up over the rejections.
Yeah.
Understand that what you're doing is like Hollywood. It's like being a musician, right? I can't just drive up to LA and be like, well, I'm going to be an actor, and then call. It's well, good news, I got cast in Mission Impossible 9. I'm playing Tom Cruise. That doesn't happen, right?
No.
we understand intuitively that the path to becoming an actor or a TV star or something takes years, and it's hard, and most people fail. Streaming is pretty much the same thing, but people haven't really internalized that because, and I don't know, I'm curious as to what everybody thinks, what you think. To me, the reason is that anybody can stream, right? If I go look at Ko's channel and I see what computer he has, I can buy every single thing Ko has. I can figure out how to do the graphics that he's got. I can figure out everything Ko has, hit the button, go live, play Warframe, and be doing what Ko's doing. So I should be able to be as good as Ko, right? I've got everything he has, So it feels like you're on a level playing field. But the reality is that, Ko has a talent and experience and an audience and all the stuff that he spent years developing and working on that isn't his computer, right? It's not
Right.
the equipment. It's him. It's his talent. And you know, I do not have that talent for live streaming.
What? You're doing
Trust
a
me.
great job.
Yeah, but I have. So I hit a very hard limit around 3.5, 4 hours.
Oh, and that's when you're done.
Yeah, I don't know how people do it. Like I sat down to do a 24-hour stream for I think Extra Life one year. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the kids. It's a charity thing. I'm super serious about it. Made my goals and everything. Started playing. Was having a great time. I got to like hour 5 and I'm like, guys,
Like, I'm done.
I gotta go. You know, I was like, I can't. How do you people do this? Like, I just can't fathom it. It's mind blowing to me. It's super. I mean, it's a super intense job.
It is.
And I think that even in doing this, like we used to do like 1 hour streams at Sony or NCSoft, whatever, and we get done with that. I was like exhausted. You know, it's like so much going on. You're processing and dealing with so much, talking to people,
Yeah.
trying to, you know, keep in mind a whole bunch of stuff, and you know, obviously, hopefully not screw up too badly. So, you know, because of that, it's super draining. I really don't know how people do it. You know, what blows my mind, I notice it with like, especially like Co and Towley, a few of our clients are really good at it. They'll be on stream and they're talking to us. And so, you know, sometimes they're like, well, you know, what's going on with this thing? I don't know where is it? Like, you know, did we get paid for this? Like, what's up? You know, like sometimes kind of, you know, like angry about like, you know, like a payment is late or something. You know, and on stream they're like super nice, they're doing their thing. It was like so funny, like cracking jokes, and you know, it's like, "Where's my money, Lebowski?" Like, and I was like, "Wow, how do you do that?" Like, I can't even, you know, I can't do 2 things right now. I keep looking at my phone because you know, there's like messages coming in. Like, it's an impressively difficult job.
I definitely think that people look at streaming and they think that it is easy. And just like you said, they think they can just buy the things, and they try it and then realize that it might not be for them. And a lot of times you don't really know a lot about that streamer's background that has given them the skills to be able to broadcast. I would say personally, like I've been doing theater my entire life. I, you know, have a communications degree, which helps me with my social media aspect, but I've been performing on stage. I've been in like rehearsals, which has given me the endurance to smile and like look at a camera and talk for long periods of time. Where if you just stop by a stream and you're like, oh, you started streaming a year and a half ago, I could be this in a year and a half, they don't really see like the whole picture.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and Tangent has said, and you know, like, you have to get over the fear of rejection because
yeah.
you're gonna get rejected a lot. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, how good you are, what you do.
That's in any field, really.
It is, and it's so hard. Like, I used to be really shy when I was in like high school and college, and a lot of it was fear of rejections. Like, for anything, it's like, we're out of chocolate milk. It's like, okay, anything could be a
me?
problem, you know, and like starting to understand, and especially the more successful I've gotten, and the more experienced I've gotten, you know, being in situations where it's like I shouldn't get rejected, right? It's like, don't you know who I am? It's like, you know, like you should give me these things. Like you should do this. It's good. It's a very good decision for you to do it. People are like, no. And it's like, all right, cool. You know, there's plenty of other people that want to talk. We'll be fine. But you know, you just have to get a thick skin. You know, just the same thing as dealing with trolls in your chat. Like, there's going to be rejection. There's going to be people who ignore you. They don't write you back. You know, for good reasons, for bad reasons, for no reason. You know, and it's just part of the business. You know, like if you're auditioning for movies, right? You don't get every role that you have. Like, you get very few of them. You know, you have to get used to sort of constant rejection in order to get to the yeses.
And acting is really hard because you're like there, you're like looking them in the eye and you're auditioning, and then they're like, okay, goodbye.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a good point, Deepbox. Like, keeping a positive attitude is the hardest part. Some people are sad and, you know, like they're kind of putting that on you, right? And that's something that we see too. I don't know how people deal with it because, like, it can be really rough. You know, it's also really cool that in a lot of ways, you can change people's lives just by doing a good show, right? We've seen, sort of like fan mail come in, or had people talk like, hey, I was going through a really bad part of my life. Watching your show made a difference, or it just made my life a little better. I've definitely, not at a hyper dramatic level, but had that when I was like super sick one day and I was like just miserable, like couldn't work. And that the first South Park game had just come out. And I was just watching Ko play it, and just watching Ko's face the whole time, where he's just like, it's like, I can't believe they just said that. It's like, are we really in this guy's ass? And it was like so sick and having the best time. Like you can have that effect on people very easily by doing a good show. So I don't know. Like I constantly find myself having to educate publishers, game companies, things like that on just how difficult this is, because there really isn't any other medium that is as sort of like physically and mentally demanding as streaming. You look at Conan O'Brien, right? He does an hour show. Like he writes all day, like, it's not that he only works for 1 hour, but he's only in that crucible, like with the lights and, high pressure where, screwing things up is a disaster. He's only there for a little bit.
Yeah.
The rest of the time he's, I assume, drinking and, yelling like I do. But yeah, so you got to just get through the rejection, get through that part of it, and focus on positive.
And I also think if you're doing as many things as possible, if you're throwing a bunch out there, if you're sending 20 emails, and let's say you get 19 rejections, but if you get one back, then that's a pretty good ratio, to be honest.
Yeah, 5%.
Yeah.
Like, and you always look at it as you have to establish baselines for yourself. It's not that everybody gets certain rejection levels or something like that. It's like I sent 20 emails, I got one back, 5%. Next time I'm trying to get 10% back. Like, let me see what I can do a little bit better. And that attitude will actually take you a really long way.
Long time. Long way.
Well, so, a story related to that. So for people who like Magic the Gathering, there's a guy named John Finkel. He's like the best Magic player of all time. Like, no, I don't think no one's gonna argue, right? Best Magic player. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I used to know him decently well. He did an AMA a while back, and somebody asked him, like, why are you so good at Magic? What makes you so good at Magic, John Finkel? And, so you're expecting one of these, like, oh, work hard, take your vitamins kind of answers. But I thought his answer was just brilliant. He says, look, I am a good Magic player. I play Magic, 10 hours a day. I played my whole life. Like, obviously, I'm going to be good at Magic. But that's not what makes me John Finkel, right? What makes me the best Magic player in the world is that, you look at a situation, a game where you're losing. Maybe you have a 2% chance of winning. Like, the board is just a disaster. There's like one card you can draw, whatever. And even if you draw that, you may not win. Now, most people in this situation, they'll give up. They'll just say, hey, good game, I concede. Let's go on to the next game. That's fine. Or mentally, they'll just check out because it's like, oh, I can't possibly win. Those people have all lost. But I will keep playing the game as if it's, a 50-50 game. So I'll play as hard as I can for that 2%. And guess what? I win 2% more than the people who gave up. And if you look at every situation that way, yeah, you play it out.
You play it.
Right? I came to play.
You draw that card.
Yeah. And if you stay in the moment and you pay attention, I mean, you never know, right? That guy who's got the 98% chance of winning, maybe he thinks he's got it in the bag. He's not paying attention anymore. Maybe he's going to make a mistake, right? Like, because it's so easy for him to win. But if you're playing with discipline, then, and like, if you know enough about the game to know that you have a 2% chance of winning, then you can have a 2% chance of winning. And that's not, that's not zero. Like.
So you mean there is a chance?
There is a chance. Yeah, and you win 2% more, right? Like, getting 2% higher on your SATs could make a difference, right? Getting 2% more money, getting a 2% pay raise. Like, these things all matter when you think of them that way. So in something that's as transactional as a game of Magic that, only takes like 10 minutes, like, paying attention to win 2% more can be huge. And you've got to think of, your career that way too. I mean, I took a lot of inspiration from that idea because it's not hard, right? You just approach situations with the same seriousness that you would if it was life or death, you know, for the small things too. You know, whether that's talking to your fans, like you never know, like maybe your fan turns out to be somebody very important that can help you get access to a game, you know, like when I worked at Sony, I wouldn't always tell people that it's like, hey, I'm in charge of, you know, all the EverQuest games and like these other 10 games, and, you know, I have a multi-million-dollar marketing budget that I could give you. Like, just don't tell people that and see how they react. And, you know, it's like, oh, some people are assholes. Like, well, I'm just never going to tell them what I do, you know, and
That's a good way to weed them out.
Yeah, I mean, like I tend not to tell people what I do. It's way more entertaining, you know. Just be like, hey, no, my name's Omeed. Yeah, no, I work in the game industry. Yeah, that's not important. What do you do? And just see what they say, right? And you'll find out very quickly. What's the thing like? You'll find out what people think of you or what kind of people they are when they don't think that you can do anything to benefit them. How they treat you when they think that, you know, you're essentially worthless from a business standpoint or a profit standpoint. Like, if they're nice, if they're decent, good people, you know, then that's great. You know, if they're like super shitty to you when they don't realize that you could do all this good stuff for them, and then you explain, it's like, well, no, actually, you know, this and this and this, and you know, and then all of a sudden they're nice. It's like, it's very good to know, because guess what? When you're no longer able to help them, how do you think they're going to treat you?
Not nice.
Yeah, not nice. And on that note, because it's Friday, every other Friday we do game day here at OP Group. It's also pet day, so we have a dog outside. Which dog is it? Is that Oreo?
It's Kiko.
Kiko. Damn it. Yeah. All dogs look the same to me.
I forgot the name.
Yeah, it's specious. Well, yeah, but it's only dogs. Like, because, I mean, they all go to heaven, so who cares which one's which?
Did you hear about the game we're playing?
Movies? What?
Oh, sorry. We both.
Yeah. There were so many All Dogs Go to Heaven movies. But no,
Oh, that movie.
the game we're playing.
Yeah. Did you hear about? Oh my gosh! Sorry, that door almost opened. It's locked, I guess.
Yeah,
That was
well,
very scary.
We know it's locked now. Yeah, I've heard a little about the game we're playing.
Oh, I'm just excited because it's like Casey's friend made the game.
Yes.
And he's here to teach us how to play.
Yes.
So I think that's cool and interesting.
It is.
I forgot what it was called
I
though.
think it's called Drawing Dead,
Yeah, it's
Drawing
called Drawing
Dead?
Dead.
which is what I do when I play Magic.
Yes.
Do we draw things?
Yeah, and we're dead.
Draw things while dead.
It's so the term drawing dead is from poker and Magic.
Oh.
It means, so if your opponent has 4 aces, it really doesn't matter what you draw in most cases. Like, it's like you just have a bunch of crap, you can't win. Like, any card you draw, you're drawing dead. So you're already dead. You know, same can happen in Magic, right? Like,
All lands.
yeah, the person has infinite stuff, you keep drawing lands, you're just drawing dead. So the guy who created the game is a Magic and poker player. But I believe it's a Western game about zombies.
Nice.
So you're drawn dead, but you're dead, or someone's dead. I don't know. We're going to find out.
We'll find out for you.
Yeah, but hopefully it's awesome. But guys, yeah, draw 5 aces. That's always a good way to win.
Draw me like one of your dead girls.
All right, Skullstream. Well, it was great meeting you, but we gotta go. No, guys, we do need to go. Thank you guys very much. Hope this was a helpful chat about E3, game selection, not giving up, stick-to-itiveness. It's one of my favorite words. It's a very cromulent word.
That's a big word.
All of that, it is. Cromulent and stick-to-itiveness. Yeah, just embiggen your vocabulary, people. Just embiggen it. We will be back next week for office hours. Same bat time, same
2
bat
p.m.
channel. Hopefully we will not have audio issues to start with. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Johnny Scar, Tangent, for the subscriptions. Thanks for the bits, folks. We will see you next week. Follow the channel. Follow us on, what do you call that thing? Twitter. It's
Twitter.
OP_group. And yeah, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you.